Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this week's Kollective Foundations weekly live session. We're excited that you have a little bit of time to spend with us during your Wednesday lunch hour. Every week we bring fresh conversations and powerful insights and help us grow and thrive. And this is what we're doing today as well. Today's session is one we really have been looking forward to. Today we have Elder Debra McCray from St. Luke Apostolic Church on 106 Booker Street, who will be our guest today. This will be a powerful conversation and definitely something that we really want to talk about, which is faith in the workplace. I'm going to give it up to her, but before we jump in, don't forget our link tree should be on the bottom left of your screen and next to the comment button as well. So if you find any, you can find all of our social links there. Definitely important resources that you might want to check out as well. So now grab your lunch, get comfy, and dive in. So we're so glad that you're here as well. Thank you.
I'm just glad to be here this morning to talk about faith in the job. And it's so important that we know that, but we know that as we go through different jobs and different sites and stuff, if it wasn't for faith, we couldn't do them. So, but we thank God because He gives us the push to go to the next level. If you look around here at Donkin, Summit Collective, you'll think about, if you walk in the building and you'll think about kids and people joining together. Mm-hmm. And that's part of the faith that when Don started this off, it was he had a vision from the Lord. It wasn't just us. But faith is so important that we keep it in our heart, and that way we can work together. So if you think about Donegan here, you think about so many people. I don't know if maybe 300 or 400, so many people have came through here, but by faith they did the job. And it's if you don't have that, it's hard to do anything, especially in the workplace, because you got so many different people with so many different personalities. And that's so important that, the person with different personality, we all don't think alike. So we all doing different things. Mm-hmm. But meeting and greeting people. So some met so many people here. We've met a lot of people because the jobs that they do here. And that's the blessing. And if we didn't keep the faith in this, it could not go on. So,
right. And I know we're getting ready to talk about faith in workplace. Mm-hmm. But before we start, why don't you tell us about yourself a little bit? Okay,
just worked for probably over 40-some years here in the city of Backland in Charleston. Mm-hmm. I got 3 kids. Did ministry, been like 25 years. Just missionary, probably about 30 years. And chaplain duty at Appalachian Hospital for about 4 years. So we got 3 grandkids, of so many of them. Been at St. Luke for 16 years. Been blessed. And we have Donald's a minister now, and Elder McCray on my other side. So it's a blessing. And the people that work for Donegan have did so many parts in St. Luke. And we always here to support Donegan and Summit, because it's such a big thing that's, here in Beckley. It's like, it makes us excited to know that it's a place that we could take our kids. Mm-hmm. We know that they supervised by someone. That's saying that's faith. And the Bible always says, step out on your faith. Step out on your faith. Believe that you can do these jobs. Believe that you got people that care about you. Faith is really saying, I care about you. Not letting you go, but I'm with you. And that's so important when you do different jobs like Don have so many people, managing so many people. And a lot of times you don't see them. When we came in here last week, I was impressed. Because it's like another side. You didn't know it's actually people behind people doing things. Absolutely. And that takes a lot of faith and courage. Because you got to think some people don't have the courage to say, I can't do this. I may not, but with all these new people, all the people come together as a team, doing teamwork, and saying, you can do this. You can do, but just encouragement. That's the biggest thing we have to with faith.
So when you talk about faith, there's a lot of different things. It could be not being funny, it could be faith in the weather.
Right.
Right. So when we're talking about faith in the workplace here, for you, not for me, when you're talking about it, does that mean faith with your religion? Is that what you're talking about? Like faith with your walk with Christ? Is that what we're talking about? If that's the case, then what challenges did you face sometimes being in the 40 years of working and then 25 and being a pastor? So there's two things. One definitely would be before, right? Before you start pastoring. I mean, how was you in the workplace and then afterward? Tell me how you navigated that when there was definitely some issues. Of course, we're in the world, right? So it's got to be some issues. So tell me a little bit about
working
those.
in the workplace, it was, when I started, it was really hard because, you're juggling all these different things, kids, job, and people. And so with so many personalities, so you can't get so involved in the people around you, but knowing that they there. You see a visible person there to say, hey, come on, you could go another 10 miles. But it was hard for me because I was really a single parent and trying to figure all this stuff out, where my kids going to be, what's going to happen to them. But if I didn't take that step of faith and go out there, never worked. But if I didn't take that step to go out there and work and do what I did, I wouldn't be here where I'm at today. And every time we come in here, we feel like we've been blessed. And I'm saying it because we are.
Amen.
Every time we walk through them doors, we know something different happened. But we know somebody had the faith to say, I can work this out. God, with you, I can. And bringing God up into the workforce, a lot of different places don't do it, but I'm saying we do it because it's freedom to be able to say, yes, I love God. I have the faith that we can go on and do these jobs.
And not to cut you off, Pastor Deborah, but not using the job as a mission field. Saying that, everybody has to come here, has to be saved, or everybody that come here has to read the Bible. Having a workplace
atmosphere
with faith is something that we all need on today.
Right. And the atmosphere to come in to say we're not pushing anything to you. If you want to choose to do something and say, I want to be a know by faith, where faith gonna take me at? And faith will take you, like Don mentioned, many, many places in your life. It will take you where you think, that's not me. That's God behind me. And that's faith. But believing in how people that work up under you believe in what you're doing. Believe in your programs. Believing that if I can call you, it's okay. I can call. Someone's on the line. But we're just saying this because we know we lived it. And truly, we have lived it since we've been here. In Donington and the summit, we have lived it to our faith.
And a lot of it, so just going back a little bit about your work history, about being in it, definitely, but seeing some people that were kind of lost. Now, how were you navigating that? Now, you got to think, now, in church, right, you're reaching out to people trying to grow the kingdom of God, but at work, is it the same way? And I know Elder McCray said that, we're not there, and it's not, but definitely showing them another way. Basically, so tell me a little bit about that. Some people, how did you not? I didn't say it didn't help them, but did you feel that you were helping them by, treating them in the right way? I don't know. How was you doing that if you've seen people?
Just seeing people working with people that was unsaved. And a lot of times we can't speak with so many words. And then again, you have to listen. That person is going to look up to you. They're going to see what your pattern is. Is she a good person? They want to know your personality. They want to know who you are. That's where the trust come in at. A lot of times we don't trust because we up against so many things. And I was up against so many things. But by the grace of God, kept on moving, kept on pushing. Don't have a choice. Our mission is to try to help someone else. So I feel over the years I've helped a lot of people. I feel that, and with God's help, I've helped a lot of people, knowing to take them to the Lord, to know that I want to be saved. And that's what the bottom line is all about. Where's my next direction? So Donington is set up for a next direction.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just sit there and say, we're going to be still 1 minute and you can visit here. It may be different tomorrow.
And you got to think now when you talk about Donachie, right? When you talk about Donachie, that is the business that we're in here, but it's also, you know, the nonprofit is the Summer Collective. So
right.
It's basically, like I said before, they both share the same dwelling or the same office, should I say. It's just coming more to the forefront of Summer Collective because, like I said before, just different things have happened and, you know, revamping and all of the things that we're talking about here. But, you know, it is a lot of that. It's just the fact that definitely when we're talking about, you know, faith in the workplace, it's more, you know, not to drive people away, but definitely to stay plain to who we believe in, but then again, also show it. So it's not only about talking, right? Yeah. It's about showing it as well. It's about showing these things as well. And sometimes, I mean, let's get it right. I don't know about you, but sometimes, I mean, you sometimes cave in on the pressure. Why? Because of, you know, I'm not saying the pressure. You want to uphold a good, you know, definitely a good showing, you know, for God. Don't get me wrong, but you also want to hold a good showing for people at work, because, like you said, a lot of eyes are on you, especially once you say you're this, you're that, you're this. And all you're saying is because they asked you. It wasn't because you're trying to say it any other way, but. I mean, how did you get around when they did know that you was a pastor? How did you get around? Now, and what I mean by get around, I'm sure you face challenges on the job when it comes to that.
Oh, yeah, because, you know, a lot of times people may laugh. People may not believe you. And then a lot of times you just kind of not put that in the back burner, but put it where I know who it was to identify who you are. And that's the whole thing. And, of course, you're going to get that people up against that because they is still out in the world. I mean, it's tough out there. It's tough. And to give up all that out there, ooh, Jesus, that's a lot.
And that's the thing. So, you know, you find a lot of different people, you know, this, you know, platform here today where we're talking about, you know, we could bring other people in because that's the thing. There's many people who have been, you know, definitely, you know, children of God who've worked in the workplace for many, many years.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, would definitely like to hear from them because, like I said before, I think it's a thing that, you know what I mean, that I guess you don't always hear about it or whatever, but nobody definitely ashamed the fact that they're children of God, a child of God, but it's just the fact that you still, you know, have to work and make ends meet for your family as well. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, sometimes you're looked at differently. I would say, I don't know. I would say, you know, for me, you know, just being here or whatever, you know, working here and, you know, with the summit as well, it's a way where, you know, you have to carry yourself. But that's anyway. I mean, that's what we understand is that's the walk. Your walk with Christ is that way anyway. And that don't mean, like I said, for me, that don't mean better. And as I always say, that doesn't mean better, but that means you need to uphold to a standard, right? But one of the standards you got to uphold to is respecting people. I mean, that's the whole thing. You have to respect people. Well, you know, listen today. I mean, you know. And it talked about it even in the book of Mark. I mean, speaking about, you know, treating others as you want to treat yourself. You know what I mean? Definitely, you know, how they treat yourself and others like you want to be treated. If you want to be treated a certain way, you have to. But see, and that's what I think is. And this is nothing. I mean, this is definitely something that, you know, we've seen erode in, you know, in the workplace. A lot of times it's because of, you know, the young and the old. The young and the old have a rift between the two. You know what I mean? With the old has been working there for years, right? And the young haven't, but then the young come in making even just as much or more than what the older person has, and now we got a rift there. Because I'm saying, why are we, you know, doing this? And this, no, while it's not, I mean, you know, and it's funny that it's not funny, but it's just ironic that we're talking about it because even in the Bible it speaks about, you know, in the vineyard, it speaks in Matthew, it speaks about this, you know, about, you know, who would do what with what, you know what I mean, as far as, you know, if you were promised this much, you know, how would that be, you know, if you was given a denarius, right, and you already, you know, promised that and you worked for that, right, I mean, but then here comes somebody else in the third hour and they getting just as much as you did. What you know, it causes it sparks a, you know, controversy, but we are there, in securing, like, people, we're secure with a salary or, your hourly wage, and that should be something that we should be blessed over, and understand that as well. But that's something, I guess, over the years, that you both, have more work experience than I do when it comes to stuff like that, as far as, definitely being on, being in the workplace and having faith in the workplace as well. But I guess this is a question for Elder McCray. Now, when we talk about faith in the workplace, right, we saying, so does that mean having faith in the workplace, does that mean that you will always be employed at the same employer?
Say it again now.
Or will you always be employed at the same employer for the rest of the time? Because that didn't happen, right? Right or wrong. I'm not speaking about it, but that didn't happen, right? So then what? So now, when we talk about faith in the workplace, right? Well, you don't have a workplace to have faith at, because you didn't possibly either had a job or got laid off or something like that. Then what happens?
Well, those are very vibrant questions and very knowledgeable things that happen to people. But having that solid faith, you may change jobs, or you may not even just change jobs. You may grow in the job that you're in. You may have one time been, on the floor, or as you call it, or whatever, and then the next time you become a manager. You know what I'm saying? Of the company.
Right. I think it's a lot.
So then your position.
It's a lot.
I'm moving. Trying to move. You're moving from
your position
and I think,
has changed.
I think a big thing about, you're right, it is a big change. And a big thing about even what I think about, even being, over here at Donachie and also, with the Summit Collective, is one thing I notice is about past relationships. And it's always, how you treat people, right? When you go in, how some people do, they blow out a job and, cuss them out, or, get mad or don't show up or whatever. But now I see that relationships do matter. Because you go back, you go back, and then however it ended or whatever, then you be like, oh shoot, and then you continue to keep going. And keep that relationship. So burning bridges is a big thing. So this is not almost a faith thing, but it's definitely a respect thing to your job, and making sure that you're on a good standing. Everybody talks about it. You don't have to go out and I ain't say a blaze of glory or anything like it, but you don't have to go out and act up just because you leaving this job. You turn your 2 weeks in, you work your 2 weeks, or if they want you out of there sooner than that, that's fine. But you did do it the formal way. The formal way, and that's the way to do it. And it's always about getting back. And you see it even on TV now. Some people who have made definitely some violent things go on at their job after they left there, and that's a sad thing. But I just remember one school shooting. And I hate to talk about it, but that one shooting that I seen, that transpired. I can't think of where it was, but anyway, the boy didn't hurt one of the girls that was nice to him. And it was just something that, but he had a list, and that's the thing. So you always want to treat people with respect. Right. And everybody isn't on their A game every day. And you have to understand that. And it's all walks of life that come in, to that, and that's the thing, when we speak about it, a lot of times,
and I think, like you were saying, mention that, you have different personalities, and people could have a bad day at home and come to a workplace, and then it takes someone skillful. I'm saying skillful to kind of calm it down when they come down, because you could pick up on people and more or less know what's happening.
Well, and
then the protection of the other people around you, that's in your head, in anybody's head. That's the first thing of the people around us. What do we do to keep them safe? And so it's a lot that we as parents, as people, need to try to work with other people to say, what do they need? What can I give them? And sometimes you can have people from the great families and turn.
I always say, I said it, back when we first started this about, in a workplace, your goal is to be objective, which means you be open about things, not so much subjective, where you coming in with what you think, and that's the thing. So it's very challenging when you think about faith, though, because when you think about faith, and like I said before, about that is it challenges you to what? To be open, right? To things that you might not be open to. And it's just, and trust me, and then it hits you right in place, but it hits you right in the face sometimes. But like I said before, but when you start treating people with respect, it magnifies.
Well, you know, I think as well that all of us are different. Everybody has a different personality. And if you have, so that, you know, you have a new employee come in, and the new employee say, well, Dad, you know, our boss has a very stentorian personality. I don't think I really like the way he's talking to me. You know what I'm saying? I think that, you know, we need to find out how can we, you know, get some way to pull him down where, you know, he don't talk roughly, you know, to people, because you know, because some people, because all it takes sometimes, you know, is just one word for some.
I'm very loud, so I mean, I'm just, my voice is very loud. I mean, that's just what. So I have to kind of watch how I talk. I mean, it's okay, but you know, but the Bible says that too. Yeah. I mean, you know, if you really think about it, so it's something, you know, about how you know, I mean, the words you use as well. Mm-hmm. You know, it's another thing. You have to always watch that. But now here's the thing, you know. It's easier for me because I'm not using a lot of words like it anyway, so it's not as bad. But that's now. But I'll just tell you, you know, when we talk about, you know, I just be, you know, transparent, just like when I was, you know, even in church Sunday. But you just never know, you know, how much, you know, when pressure comes on you, right? That sometimes you revert back to, you know, something of old, right? And words coming out of your mouth, you're like, who is this talking? And that's, and I ain't gonna get into it, but that's just one of the things. And so it's always something you have to watch as well.
And also I'm saying, you know, like being put in that position, and sometimes we don't understand, and sometimes we just need to kind of walk away for a few minutes and regroup. Right. Yes, it's hard because, you know, you're already there. Right. You're already explosive.
Right.
But I feel that sometimes, I mean, this is learning this over the years. It's like, because we're human, and you know, and we're saying, step away.
But then you know, you saying faith in the workplace. You said, well, how can that man or how can that person be a person of faith, and he's got that, you know, that kind of a gruff attitude.
But that's the thing. But I think when we're getting into the faith and getting into the walk, it is something that we have to re-examine. Right. I mean, I don't know what you're looking at on your tablet, but but if you was, is what I'm saying. Would you be looking? You know what I mean? What if you did look at yourself in the tablet and how you act? Right, you know, during that whole day. Yeah. You know what I mean? And would you number one, would you be okay with that? Or then would you think, would God be okay with that? Yeah. I mean, you know what I mean? Okay, and then you have to think, well, oh man, he might not like it. But that's what I said. I mean, and that's the difference. I mean, it really is. But it's because you think, I mean, just because you go to work, you turn it don't really turn off when it comes to that. But that's okay. But that's okay. That's the part where you can show, right? You know what God's done for you. Definitely through your actions, and you know, definitely through your work ethic as well. I mean, that's another thing. When I was telling you about being disgruntled, not saying more old people are saved than young. I don't know the statistics. I'm not saying that, but one would say, what are you getting mad at? If you young or old, if you there to do a job, you there to do it. You there to do it to the best of your ability. You know what I mean? And that's what, you know, I do believe. I mean, it does. I mean, in the Bible, and I mean, we know it talks about laziness as well. Mm-hmm. Sluggard, it talks about, right? The sluggard in that. So it's something that, you know, so you have to come and put your best effort, even though we know we got a room full of people, they ain't hardly doing nothing. You know what I mean? And I ain't trying to be funny. It's just like, or they doing just enough. You know, they're doing just enough. But that's not the call of faith.
Oh no.
Therefore, that's not the call of faith to do just enough. It ain't. It's not. It's not the call.
And I think, like you were saying, it's not the call. And a lot of times, when we put in situations, we have to regroup it too. Mm-hmm. We're like, well, something's not working. Because if you're just going to give me a little bit and not all, then how are you going to be a purpose to what I'm doing? The growth of the jobs, securing your job, securing that job.
The growth. Mm-hmm. I think you're right. It's about the growth, you know, and that's just, I don't know, it's funny you said that because it's like, you know, even today, when we hear, you know, online, Collective Foundations going over the things of faith in the workplace, but it's just like what you said about the summit as well. The summit, I mean, this is what I put on today, but and it's not always about logo, but it is about direction, right? The shirt I have on, right? This shirt I have on, definitely was one of the ones that had, was of the old, right? Of the summit of old, but it doesn't go away. I mean, it doesn't go away, but then we changed to the new logo, but it was just a change for everyone. You know what I mean? For everyone. That's all it is. It wasn't to do away with the old. It doesn't. I mean, and when it comes about walking in faith, that's what changed. A lot of when we talk about the summit and me, well, how can we just be focused on one person? I know you can be if you want to, but sometimes you have to open it up as well. And that's what I felt, and I thought, through prayer, I thought that would be better suited for that. And now we sit here today, and that's what we're trying to do. I mean, bringing everybody in. I mean, that's what but so, your original concept, it may not be reaching who you need to, but then the other one will. That doesn't mean the old one's bad. It just means it needs to change. We need to change. We need to look in the mirror and see what will work to help. Right. If that's what we're here to do, right? And that's what we're here to do. So, but that's faith, though. I mean, guess what? We went from, we still do have Collective Foundations 10 to 2 right here at the Don Key office, but that's the thing. I mean, sometimes when people don't show up, what do we do though? I mean, we got all this equipment. Hey, let's just put it out there. Don't mean it's going to be the best production. Don't mean it's going to be, and it definitely needs some fine tuning. Of course, we know that, but it's the effort of trying, the effort of going back.
And then I'm thinking, when we also talk about the growth, is saying we have to move. Now, our faith didn't carry us this far. It's going to continue to carry us a better direction to get the order. A lot of things is in order. You got to have a lot of things in order with people because they instructions. And so it's important to carry things out. I was a chaplain for like 4 years, something like that. And I loved doing chaplain, until I couldn't do it anymore. But the point is you may go to a room that people got something that you ain't even supposed to go, but you're wearing your mask and you're still praying for them. And just different little things. But I think a lot of people didn't take it serious. And chaplain is a very serious job. Oh yeah, it's like 7 days straight. That don't mean because you did today, I seen you, I can go home. No, it's 24 hours. That's just like here, right now, as we discuss Donegan and the summit. That's a growth. I mean, we can't say it fell down. You regrouped it and made it so people can say, I can go somewhere and feel important. I can go somewhere and I can help somebody else out. But in the meantime, I'm learning. Through the growth, I'm learning to be a new person. And that's the faith that they believe in. And their faith, they believe in, I'm doing this because I can do better. I can move on to another job. So like you said, they're not here forever to stay for, you know what I'm saying? But it's the instruction as they go ahead on to their direction. And the direction is from here to be a man and woman out there in the world to be able to see what they're doing and have the faith that they can do it.
Well, I think so too, Pastor Debra. If I'm a person on a position on a job and I have exacerbated all of my energy to try to make the boss, you can't make boss, but try to let the boss see, hey, look, can you see what I'm doing? I mean, can you see what, because sometimes, people think that they are not noticed. They're not noticed. And they think that, hey, I'm putting all of my energy and all of my time into this job, into this work, but it doesn't seem like I'm being noticed or I'm being recognized. I mean, how do we deal with that? I mean, if you're a man of faith or a man of God or whatever, Christian, whatever it is, how do we look at that? How do we see that? If we are looking at the boss and the boss is always overlooking us, I'm saying, and then he said that he's a man of faith. But how do we look at it?
So a lot of times, we saying this, but I'm saying good bosses. I mean, the good bosses. I'm saying that they are not overlooked. So a lot of times, we talk about it in the Bible. Don mentioned about words that to help them. They don't think you see them, but you actually see them. Why? You see them because of faith. How led you to say, well, I know somebody on the phone, they're going to be somebody good, but some people think they're not. Them going to be the people that lead you and keep on moving and keep helping and say, well, I want to learn more. That's the whole thing, to change their attitude about life.
But I mean, I think, about coming to work, to go back to, you said, how are we going to get that boss? Look, I think, while he could be led by faith, I mean, a lot of people have struggled with this. So don't get me wrong. This is not something that, a lot of people struggle with this very issue. Not because they want to deny it, but they don't know in today's term. I mean, they don't want to, they need a job, don't get me wrong. But they also want to make sure, they're honoring God as well. But my thing would be is to go with God. Go with God and also, what do I mean by that? To talk to Him, to have that relationship. I think a lot of it is about relationship anyway. So when we have that relationship with Him, I mean, there. I think, and I mean, it speaks about it now. Not to have any fear either. I mean, that's not in the fear. It's not to have any fear. I mean, we will. I mean, we will have feelings of fear. Don't get me wrong, but the actual fear. So to go to the boss, I didn't say you had to go in front of everyone. Right. You know what I mean, or whatever. Or you could say, hey, sir, meet with you a little bit to see how my performance are, and see how my performance is. I mean, is it up to par? But then again, you should get evaluations, different things like that. So then it will show that as well. So there are things that are in place that can be, put in place that can, kind of show that they are looking at you, that they are. We was, going. It's fun. It was funny, but I go by there. It was good though. I go by this place. I ain't gonna say the name, but we go get sandwiches from them all the time. They don't have one here. Where we live, but I always go there. Now, and it's always business as usual. They always doing their thing. I don't ever see them really sloughing off or nothing like that. But Monday when we went there, the boss was there. Boss was there, right? And he's standing there, like standing over. I mean, he's pretty much over top of him, basically. But I noticed that they wasn't shook up, and a lot of reasons why and I can notice it because I've been in there a bunch of times. I noticed they wasn't shook up because guess what? It was business as usual. They've always done that. They've always, treated people. So it wasn't. There might have been a little here and there, but nobody in there was really shook. And that was good. And they were younger. I mean, it was some younger staff as well. So it was good. It made me and my daughter and my coworker was there as well, friend as well. So I kind of know because I'm in there more than they are, but I kind of noticed it, and that's a good thing, when it comes to it. But that's what I'm saying about how does that relate to faith? But that's what I'm saying, doing and showing up and doing the things you need to do, and then it will. Because you never know. You just never know. Sometimes it's just different. I mean, somebody might notice you because a lot of jobs here aren't just here; they're out in the community. So people people notice you, right? And notice these things. And once that happens, then you start to see it, and it's like, wow, It's like, so, and then people get picked up. People, they sometimes leave, which is, praise God, they leave. They take other jobs, and that's good. But that's what you want. I mean, you want that. You want people to, to definitely thrive and definitely get better. At their job, and a lot of that is, just the same. That's what you want to see, but you gotta let them and have the room to let them. But it's also about mistakes. It's also about mistakes as well. I mean, a lot of people will make mistakes. I think that's one of the things. It's one of the things about just wanting to get out there and do the right thing, but you can't be afraid not to step out there either. And what I mean, step out there and with encouragement. I tell anybody here, I'm not mad at what you do. I mean, if you're trying to do it, it's the not doing. It's the not doing anything. That's because sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's not always a lot to do. You have to be, self-starter. You have to be definitely starting stuff up on your own and stuff like that. I ain't saying you go, but you ask or whatever. But just even write it down, then come to me. Hey, look, I thought of this. I'm not the type of person to be like, I don't like it or nothing like that. If I don't like it, I'll tell you, but not like that. Because I love the effort. I love the effort in it. I think, but direction, right? But direction, and that's the thing, when we talk about, that's what, when we go back to faith, being a child of God, hopefully you're on the right direction, that narrow path, that walk that way. So, it can only be seen through your actions and see, well, man, whatever path he on or she on, man, I might want to be on that. Because guess what? No matter what, we ain't getting them with minimum wage. She always smiling. What's she smiling for? We ain't getting them with minimum wage. What's her smile at? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's payday, ain't you? We broke. We both broke. What's that? You know what I mean? How's that? Why she smiling? Like, you know, why you pushing the broom so hard? You know, man, that's what it is, though.
I like that.
And then when you see it, and you be like, man, you know what I mean? And people treat you so nice,
Your attitude,
you know, and things like that, you know, and then all the jobs, you know, that you have and stuff like that. But it's always, you know, and you never want to. I think that's the biggest thing about mixing the world and with your job or things like that, and what the world should say. You know what I mean?
And it's not easy.
No, but I see people. I see people. We just right down the street from a famous restaurant, right? And I see them down there hustling, busting, man, down there, you know, doing their thing. You know what I mean? But I noticed what I noticed about that one down there. It's always a lot of management there. So I guess that's going to see it through. You know what I mean? See it through to have that. You know what I mean?
And that's good.
Have that drive. In fact, and that's what I said. Only thing with here, I'm not always here, so that's a little different. But that's why I said, but when you have that foundation, you can move forward and know, man, I'm gonna do it. But sometimes it takes a little direction, right? It takes a little time to look in the direction. But that's, you know, I mean, that's getting when we talk about faith. That's what the Bible does.
And
you know
also,
what I mean, it gives you that direction.
Also,
you know,
it gives you that. The faith is believing, trusting, and the growth of it. Believing by faith that this too will come to pass. But believing, knowing that I'm out here doing something that I'm enjoying doing. You know, eventually as I catch on, because a lot of people have to catch on to what my boss gonna be like. Is he gonna be mean, or he's gonna be? You know what I'm saying? And that's
it's funny you say that because they don't. You know. Sometimes, you know, as a boss, I'm being funny, not letting them know how to take you. What I mean by that is being free and carefree. Business when it's business. Sometimes fun when it's fun. But at the end, always respect, though. You know what I mean? Always respect. Because some people don't know how to take that or whatever. They don't know how to take.
That's true.
They don't know how to take me. I mean, sometimes they don't know how to take me.
And I'm sure they don't, because here you was a young man, and you know, out here and not giving orders, but saying this is how we're gonna do this. And they can't figure it out. Sometimes it's not me doing it, but I don't get into that with them. When I said I don't, sometimes even where we sit today, you know, you said it. I mean, but I really haven't said it. You know, as far as this format here about getting on here and speaking about different topics and things like that. But sometimes you have to step when you talk about faith in the workplace. It's inside of the work, you know what I mean? It's inside of the work. It's people outside that are working outside this room where that is working. I mean, invite them in. They won't come, and it's okay. But they're out there working. I mean, that's the thing. So you can't always, you know, it's going to be uncomfortable at times, sometimes for you. But that doesn't mean you stop. That doesn't mean you stop. I mean, being disgruntled and stuff like that, I get it. But you know, that complaining, right, doesn't go well with, you know what I mean? Well, they always complaining about, you know what I mean? But you know, we're here. I mean, there has been one job, but now I think about it, I'm so glad for that job because now I know to appreciate the jobs you do have, and every day we do it. And every day, if you look at Don and Summit, it's been a blessing, and it continues to be. When we first started, when we did kids, I think we did kids, didn't we? And you find kids, they have so much to say.
Absolutely.
And at the end of the session, we said, and Elder know, we said, if you need something, let us know. I said, and you know people around, a lot of people don't give people any guarantee. We said, if you need anything, you in school at a game, and you want us to come, call us. And call somebody Collective. Call Don, and you know what I'm saying, someone's going to be there. And that's why I feel it's a big help. And the kids coming, you know, you get a little pallet time, but other people find out about it. And that's a good thing. Today, it'll be one thing they find out about us today. Personal. You know.
Right, I mean, it is, but like I said before, but it's, you know, the Summit, you know, Collective is for everyone. You know what I mean? That's the thing. I mean, and, you know, it's one of the things we do have, but you know, full disclosure, we do have, programs where we introduce people to spirituality, to faith, and through Jesus Christ. Definitely we do that. Doesn't mean they have to take it, don't get me wrong, but I'll be amiss, being a child of God, I'll be amiss not to use that as well. I mean, that, like I said before, but we're here, we're, mentorship. We help kids, girls and boys. That's what we do. Big brothers, big sisters. That's what we do. But that doesn't. But just because the moniker says that doesn't mean I can't. We can also branch out and help adults as well. Because guess what? Those kids got parents.
Right.
Those kids got relatives, right? I mean, they got uncles, aunts, whoever, cousins, or whatever. So it's just one of those things, and it blossoms that way. So you just never know. How. Right. You never know, but you never know how that would be if you like I said, and it's down times. I mean, don't get me wrong, sometimes you're down, but you can't be down when you know that, the people you're helping, right? They're looking not up at you, but looking up and seeing, well, where do they come? What's this? Why are they doing this? I mean, I know we've done things before, even in our church, we haven't done it in a while. We've done fish fries and stuff like that as well. Some of us done a fish fry before too. But me and you, remember we was up there at, by the park. Middle school, we was up there and did that, giving out, and it is fun. It really is fun. I mean, I don't think, it's not about me or you, but you just have fun and the people come up and because you don't see it a lot anymore.
You back to that respect. You back to it's not what you earn, it's you respecting that person.
That's right.
That is the biggest part. It's the respect.
We got a lot. We got a lot going on.
But when you do respect, they'll learn to respect you back. Because a lot of times, they'll see the side of you saying, well, he was really nice to me today. You know what I'm saying? They will pick that up. I'm telling you, they will. I mean, it don't look like it, but they'll pick it up.
Well, this I hate to cut in real quick, but this session right here today, it reminds me so much of the Forge. I'm not saying that we're actors or we're anything like that there, but the young guy in the Forge, he didn't know what he was walking into. His mother just told him that you got to go out and get a job. And when he went out and got the job, he didn't know what kind of job he did because he was disrespectful, to different things and to different people, and even to himself.
Yeah.
But when he got into the Forge, everything it didn't just all come on him, right away.
Almost definitely.
You know what I'm saying? It just didn't happen for him.
But it was right. It was through a job, met a person that had
some faith in God.
But that's what I'm saying.
And that's so good. That's so good.
But that's something. Not everybody, but you can definitely do your part. I mean, when it comes to that as well. I mean, but. Like I said before, but definitely one of those things is your actions.
Yes.
Let's get that right. Your actions and how you act and how you treat others, like I said as well. And know that as well. But you can see all through there. I mean, you can not in this office, but actually in other parts of the office, you see, God displayed all through it. And that's just something that we talk about. We had a something going on, when we first moved in. But it's all these things can be. Given to God and solved by God. I mean, it can be, but never gonna. But while I'm never gonna be ashamed to tell you that I'm a follower of God, and I'm not. But I definitely want others, right? I mean, to experience it as well. I mean, and that's something we'll talk about later on. But you have the different things. That's why we have different type of programs for that as well. And then always looking for people to help as well. And I know they might be apprehensive because they don't know what we're about. This is what we're about. I mean, definitely. When it comes to those programs, definitely the vine and the root. Definitely about getting a relationship with Jesus Christ. That's what we're about. But as far as when we talk about workplace stuff and things like that, definitely treat people with respect anyway. Even if you're not. So if you tell me that, it's fine. If you tell me right now, if you come in and say, and you might say it, listen, I don't follow Christ or something like that. That doesn't deter me from hiring you or anything like that.
Right.
Hopefully through my actions and through the people you see around, that may change. That may change because we do the treatment of respect and different things like that. But hopefully you see that in the atmosphere that's there. Because it's not like, it's just not. This is not like you never know what's going what's gonna be here. You know what I mean?
And I said,
We laughing and we working, but we laughing
Yeah.
sometimes, and some
Having a
guys
good
don't
time.
have to be like uptight all the time.
And I think this volunteer is for me, and maybe for Elder, that the groups are separated, and that was so important to say we're gonna be this, and the kids gonna be this, and it wasn't nothing bad
And it
about
still
it.
be, and it still needs
Still,
to,
and
still, it
that's
still
a
needs
good
to be,
thing. That's
still
a good
needs to
thing.
be revamped some, and that's
Oh,
okay.
yeah, most
I mean, that's
definitely.
okay.
But
I
that's
mean,
what
you
it's
always
about.
to reach your goal.
That's what it's
Basically, is
about.
what it is to
That's
help
what it's
others
about.
reach your goal. You know what I mean? This is the way it is. I mean, and that's fine. That's fine. I mean, like I said, having live events, of course, but also having events if that means on Facebook or on YouTube.
Right,
So be it.
that's right, yes,
I mean, that's
yes.
just something that you want.
Open.
No, of course, and you'd want that to be one of the things
Oh,
that you
yeah,
have. I mean,
right.
that make it available to everyone. I mean, like I said before, this is, we're not talking about church, but this is definitely something we're talking about here.
Right.
Definitely, but making it an atmosphere where you want it to be. That's through faith and in the workplace. And sometimes that's a lot, because sometimes it's your cubicle and in your office, it's your cubicle or, it's your desk, right?
Yeah.
So it could be even down to that, but what you start to see is people start to gravitate towards you. That's all about how definitely how you act. Exactly right. And I know it's that way and understand that as well. Some of
But I think also too, I think the Summer Collectors here and the Donikins office here, I have never been disrespected here in this office. Not as long as I've been coming. As long as I've been coming, I've been treated with respect, courtesy. People say hi, and that means a lot. And you're not trying to come in here, to bombard or trying to come in here to say, hey, if you're not saved, you need to get to know Jesus.
No, and they'll tell you that. I mean, I ain't gonna disclose a lot. I mean, but still, there's when I said there's all walks of life to come in here,
Right.
there's definitely all walks of life to come in here, and all walks of life to walk
And
that
the
they're working
respect,
here.
the respect
as
of all
well.
of them is
Respect is
given,
gonna be there.
to give it
Respect's
to all
gonna
of
be
them.
there. I mean, respect's gonna be there because that's the thing. I mean, like I said before, and that's what you learn.
Yes.
And I think also as we sat here, just gathering thoughts and getting things. And one of my thought was we're gonna eventually let the people have opinion, voice opinion, call in and talk to us while we in the.
I mean, ours. I mean, we just gotta
They
get that
don't.
straight.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We just gotta get that part. I mean, it's always gotta be
Always
some revamp.
Yeah.
But definitely,
But I think,
definitely didn't want to always be. Yeah. I mean,
we don't want people to say to be afraid to say, well, can I trust him?
Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah,
that's
it.
important because
So-
a lot of times things that happen in people's
Well,
lives.
that's right. I mean, you got to think. I mean, you're right. I mean, when we talk about now, this is a little different when we talk about faith in the workplace, but definitely we just completed one part of our Camp Elevate camp for kids, right? Right. But the thing, this one part is still going on. It's still continuing. That now we've taken it, on the road, but we definitely have, I mean, it's definitely something that was wonderful, right? But that's something that, it's a big partaking, kids and
when I seen you feeding, like the kids eat and they eat and eat. So I mean,
different things
that,
like that.
they
So it's
come
like,
to the group,
right? But this
they
stuff
come
is,
back to the
but
group.
this stuff is, I mean, you have to always,
Offer to them.
and then that's something that you start to see, and all people, want
most
to
definitely.
be involved, and it's just a start. I mean, but it's definitely a good start, but it's just something that you have to, definitely, when we talk about faith in the workplace, it's more of just having faith, period, and now, what I mean, but definitely taking it into a business and different things like that. Face a little, and have some revamping to do, but for the most part, but it's people. It's the people. It's not me or anything. It's the people that you have around, willing to help, willing to come volunteer, willing to work as well. I mean, not only volunteer work. We had a lot of volunteers out from the community, fire department.
That's great.
Definitely, Christina Price from Woodforce Bank, came in, and the top financial lit, Beckley Police Department came in as well. So we definitely seeing a different atmosphere, right, of different things, that people had. I mean, and up at the Exhibition Coal Mine, Beckley Exhibition Coal Mine, actually taking a visit there. As well. So I mean, we had a lot of different things.
That's a lot going on.
Of course, but and that's the thing,
Good things.
and that's the thing. So, but that's the thing about, you know, when you do run into issues with things, sometimes definitely seeing us out there, how do we handle them?
Yes.
How do we handle those things as well?
Right.
Yes.
You know, I mean, that's, you know, a lot of what we talk about as well. How do we handle things? I mean, even in, like I said, with this as well. I mean, this can only go as far. I mean, with the topics that we talk about, they come. But I mean, if we need to talk about more, we can. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, we can talk about any topic. You know, in the workplace. I mean, business wise, we can definitely talk about it. I mean, because it's something that, you know, that, like I said, while this is started up, let's have conversations about it. It's the only way you're going to be able to know that. Really, it is. You know, and I commend, you know, like I said, for, you know, it's one of the things that we speak about. I never always talk about this, but, you know, it's one of the things about work ethic that I always learn, you know, I mean, you know, from my mom, but also from my dad as well. Always going to work as well. I mean, and understanding that too, that this is, you know, definitely something that you have to do.
Yes.
And now that I work or whatever, and see it, you know, whatever owner or whatever, but if I'm getting up 4:30 in the morning and going to, you know, pick somebody up, you know what I mean? Maybe I sometimes see my daughter looking like, you know, what you doing? But it ain't that. I mean, you have to be willing to do whatever the other person. That's even in the, you know, in the Bible it's the same thing.
Well, you know,
I think willing to be a servant.
I think also that it's very amazing just to have the executive director sitting in this class in this session.
But I don't think that doesn't.
But I mean, you know, I know he doesn't.
He don't take it.
He doesn't
No,
look at it
it's
that
more.
way.
No, it's more
But
me
it's
just
so
trying
much,
to help.
you know, it's so much, you know, that.
And it's, you know, I talk to people also, and
But
you know, they knew you was the one that's
running the program,
and it's so good. And I know you don't like to take the credit.
because it's not.
We don't give it all to God.
Because that's not. Because it's not. Yeah, I mean that part is just like. Yeah, but because sometimes I'm gonna tell you, sometimes titles do, you know, stir people away, or you know what I mean, different things like that. But guess what though? I always say this. I mean, I respect anybody's title. Don't get me wrong. If that's what they want to be called or whatever, that's fine. I'm fine with that. That's fine with that. But at the end of the day, are we helping people? In my eyes, and that's, you know, in God's eyes as well. But are we helping people, you know, come up? You know, we definitely come out and help others, and like I said, you definitely grow the kingdom of God for sure.
That is true.
First, but you know, in the workplace, definitely helping them, you know, provide for their families as well, or learn how to as well. So maybe this might be a training ground to learn that as well. I mean, that's we can make mistakes.
Do y'all teach the grooming part of it, or just
all that? I mean, we that's more or less on the donkey side as well.
Okay, but I was thinking about the.
We do life skills, and we do that as well. Elevate You for the kids, we do that. You know, every third Saturday, of the month, we do Elevate You to talk about the life skills, things like you said. If it came to grooming, that's what we talk about. Talk about your future, that's what we talk about.
You know, I was just thinking about, you know, when I worked in Charleston at the CMC, and I was a janitor. They had a bigger name for it, and you know that, and that was fine. And I had to go in a tunnel down. I didn't know that CMC had a tunnel, and it's a workable tunnel. They down there, you know, packing stuff and doing all that. And they told me one day, I went at work, and they like, well, we know when she here, because I would have to mop the whole tunnel, and just like grooming and saying it was just a janitor job more or less, but I cared enough to groom myself before I went there, no matter what it was.
That's good.
I might go in rough, go in looking good, and come out like somebody done told you up.
Right, of course.
That's teaching. You know what I'm saying? That's teaching, and that makes them feel good about themselves. And that's what
all you're trying to do as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you're trying to, you know, I mean, definitely when we talk about faith and work, but a lot of people are, you know, kind of thrown off by that. I know that, you know, we're not going to say where. I mean, that's up to you. I don't even know. I mean, how much time we got? I don't know.
About
5 more minutes. Well, we can't. We'd have to continue it. But you've had challenges at work as well.
Absolutely.
I mean, you could expand on, not now, but maybe later. Expand on, but that's the thing. What do we do when we're challenged? I mean, a lot of it is, you know, like you said, like stepping away, right? And also recognizing this is a challenge and not falling into it.
Right.
Sometimes you gotta leave. Sometimes you gotta walk out the building.
And I think you told me one thing. You was like, well, you know the person, I'm like, well, they acting up, or they acting, and Don was like, well, you don't, how would they act any other way? Because, you know, they got things challenging their life.
Yeah.
And so
I mean,
we don't take into consideration, you know, we got it together.
We watch that. You know, we
You
watch.
know.
And you're not always. I mean, let's get it right. You're not always together.
Right. But we thank you.
But like I said before, but you always, you know, trying to get through the day, of course, you know, and every day's different.
Oh, yeah.
Every day's different. Didn't really know. I mean, like even this, like I said before, I know we was talking about faith in the workplace. Didn't even know where it would go, but it's just one of those things that not to be afraid to speak about it as well.
Yes.
I mean, and that's the thing, and then and be approachable. Definitely be approachable when things happen here, and that's one of the things we do. We try to do as well. I want to thank, you know, Pastor Debra McCray, Elder McCray. I mean, I think she came last week, you know, on special appearance. I wasn't here last week because, like I said before, I might not be here. I might be here, but I really, you know, like it to continue. You know, Kollective Foundations, the weekly live session. I'd like to continue. Mike, moderator, he's not here today, but he'll be back. Definitely. But I think, you know, everybody from watching, like I said before, if you got any ideas, you can, you know, put it in Facebook. I mean, we're on Facebook, right? We get the website is up there as well. The summercollective.org. You can, you know, put any suggestions you may, you know, suggestions, you know, to help us, you know, grow this. I mean, and do a better job, and definitely, you know, reach more people. Reach more people, and you know, people who want to be a guest on, come on. I mean, like I said, we'd love to have you. We had a wonderful guest, Amanda Hammonds, last week. We've had, you know, guests. I mean, throughout. I mean, we appreciate every one of them.
Yes,
we do. I mean, I need, you know, to actually, you know, finish up, you know, our appreciation with the ones that have, you know, definitely came on, and I will. I mean, as a suggestion was a good suggestion, like I said before. But you always gotta recognize people when they, you know, definitely taking their time out of their schedule, you know, to come in and speak or whatever, and you know, and not really even want anything from it as well. So I appreciate those who came on. Appreciate, you know, those who, you know, sit around the table as well.
Yes. And
we'll continue to do this. But this ends, you know, our session today. Like I said before, next week we'll hopefully have another guest. Lord will, we have another guest, and we'll do it. Actually, you know, do it again as well. So I want to thank you all for joining
Thank y'all.
Kollective Foundations weekly live session. Thank you.
God bless you. Thank you.